ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Bed empty hunger.
To the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Voice of the People, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikena Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka. I'm the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
2564 is coming up on running 9 right.
2564 Atlantic.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
In a world where power shapes with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
I'm Mr. Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti, and you're watching BOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. This is Newspaper Review. I am Moses Humphrey.
And I am Chukwuma Okoro. Thanks for joining us again.
And we have Barrister Darlington Agomo join the conversation, and Daily Fanimo also. Good morning, gentlemen.
Why not journalist Daily Fanimo or reporter Daily Fanimo?
They all suit you. Journalist, reporter, elder statesman, they all suit you. Okay.
Ex-reporter.
Ex-reporter. Okay. I
don't
think
I think we also have
ex-reporter. Retired reporter.
Well, we also have joining us from Benin, Emmanuel Agbogu. Emmanuel, thank you very much for staying back. All right, so let's dive into the conversation now. The headlines are just before us, and I would like to start off with the headlines here on the cover page of the Punch newspaper. Investigation uncovers Colonel who plotted Tinubu's ouster. Interim report reveals military officers targeted president, VP, ministers, and key installations. Arrests ongoing. Now, this report basically points to the fact that we have more than the 16 that were named. A whole lot more being questioned. I think about 30-something of them are being questioned right now. And that's the big story on the cover page of the Punch newspaper.
That was why I said yesterday that investigation has not been concluded and the level of complicity of each of these individuals had not been established. Until when investigation is concluded, you never can tell. Even the person that you consider as the prime mastermind of this plot may actually be somebody who was conscripted somehow without having the full details of some of these things. Because if a coup plotter wants to arch his plan, it doesn't come straight to you to say, I want to plan a coup. Usually what they do is to tell you what is bad that can be corrected. And you innocently play along and say, yes, I have seen this. I think it needs to be corrected. And then before you know it, you can be sucked in. Like the coup of 1976, General Bisala didn't know when he walked into that coup until when it became crystal clear. In fact, if he knew that it was the coup, he probably would have escaped out of the country before he was arrested. Even when Dinka was declared wanted, Bisala was not arrested at that point. So some of these people, by the time we begin to hear about developments, you will now know who is who and what role each of these people probably played along the line. And that will also establish that there is really a plot.
Well, then I think, contrary to what you said, military says that investigations have ended, they have concluded.
And
that's why they are court-martialing them.
The report has said that they are also still arresting more.
And which means they're expanding the scope in the process of. So it's wrong for the military to have told us day before yesterday that investigations have
ongoing.
No, they said concluded.
I said they should have
said ongoing.
That,
they've not closed
the investigation because we heard a different thing yesterday, different from what they said.
This particular colonel they have not mentioned may probably not be among the 16.
Okay.
That was.
So maybe the trade is now gradually leading to, something, and probably to the people behind it, the civilians.
And then, up till now, there is no coup without civilian collaboration.
No, there has to be.
There must be. So we have not even seen any civilian mentioned in this, apart from
my take on all this thing is that this is what happened when you now see some people as being above the law or untouchable. If the Tinubu administration has taken the first step of rounding up all the terrorist sponsors, if you are taking that step, maybe they wouldn't have had the financial muscle to start all this in the first place.
Barrister, which people are you talking about when you talk about the financial muscle?
The terrorist sponsors. Is it not money?
No, the financial model to do coup or what?
What do you mean? If they can do that, when do they carry out a coup?
No, Barrister, we are trying to. You have just created a connection.
Yes.
If the president, if the administration had rounded up the terror financer, that they wouldn't have enough money to do what?
To finance a coup.
So are they the ones financing the coup?
What do you mean? If they can do this thing they are doing, what is cool?
So, Barrister, you have established the fact that it's terror financer that
I said if they can do this thing they are doing for 15 years.
Okay.
I mean, are you going to remove the fact that they can sponsor a coup?
No, but now you are speculating.
There was no terror.
Then where did they get? Who else would have done it?
There was no terror attack when 76 coup happened. 1990 coup happened. And these were those that were linked to it as civilians were either conscripted or financiers.
As financiers.
Yes. And those ones didn't come at the time when there was this insurgents.
No, but what I'm trying to question is the link, between terror financiers and the coup plot.
With the finance.
Barrister, these people are not the only people that have money now.
Hold on.
Great Oboru, was he a terror financier?
Exactly.
Was Abiola a terror financier?
I am talking based on what is happening now.
Okay. So you are trying to create a nexus.
What? You cannot rule it out.
Okay.
You cannot.
No, but we were speaking with some form of, specific
exactitude.
Because of what is going on now.
No, but you cannot. Now, except you have the facts of the matter, you tell us.
You are just speculating.
Hold on. Two different rogue organizations operating in the country. One is coup plotters, and the other one is the terrorist sponsors.
And so you think there's a linkage?
There must be, because they have enough money to do what they want to do. More so, when the Tinubu administration is listening to America and they are coming closer to them, you think they will sit down and be waiting, Abi? They would want to change the government that want to get at them. Don't you think so?
Barrister, you are the one thinking here. Not me.
So I'm trying to let you know that such a thing is possible. It is very, very possible. So it is now left for Tinubu to round them up quickly. Let him take action now. If they have the money to do what for 15 years, these people have kept us busy. And you think they don't have enough money? 400. Do you know what it means? They have enough cash. Then let him find out who took that money from NNPC, 210 trillion naira. That money can sponsor 4 countries in Africa and equip them with whatever capacity.
I think there's more to. There's another angle to this coup.
I'm just looking up the significance of October 25 in the history of Nigeria. October 25. Is there anything special about?
Is it October 2025 or October
25?
Okay.
What happened?
And then, this is what happened because we have been told now that, let me just read this excerpt and then I'll get to answer that question, because the coup was said to be slated for October 25, 2025. Okay. That was the day. It was.
I thought they said October 1st.
No, October 25, according to the report.
Independent Day. Okay, go ahead.
So, let me come to that. Now, most of the suspects are of northern extraction, which, with the exception of Captain Yusuf, who hails from Osun State. The foiled coup was allegedly set for October 25, 2025, and was planned to be fatal, with the President, Vice President Kashim Shettima, ministers, service chiefs, and other notable government officials marked for elimination. The country's security establishment, however, uncovered what investigators described as a coordinated and well-funded plot by serving military officers to undermine constituted authority and potentially seize power, with intelligence linking the conspiracy to a clandestine network spanning the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. Now, multiple testimonies implicate Cornell, not named, so he's not part of the 16, as the coordinator of the conspiracy. He has been identified as far as the source of funding, recruitment, and motivation, openly lamenting his stagnation in promotion and expressing the need to change government. Several officers involved in the plot describe him as the figure who provided financial inducements and justification. Meanwhile, the search of his vehicle revealed several charms and write-ups, such as the Nupeng strike action and other anti-government write-ups. Similarly, a search on his residence at Lokogoma, Apo, revealed a very sensitive document which included allocation of responsibilities to some of the principal actors. Also, key national dignitaries were earmarked to be handled by respective principal actors. The report stated handled also means elimination.
Yes.
That's what it means. Okay, so this gives us an insight into the plot. So basically, the Nupeng strike. What's the link?
Well, the thing is that in coup plots like this, I'm not sure that the officer in question is a very intelligent officer. If he was a very intelligent officer, he will leave no traces in his residence. He will leave no traces in his vehicle.
He never knew that the thing will leak the time.
But that is why he's not intelligent, because
there's no coup that doesn't have any trace. No coup. It's just that when it leaked.
Barrister, can I speak?
When it leaked.
Barrister, can I speak? After me, you will speak. As far as I'm concerned, he's not an intelligent officer. I understand that there must be a trace, but making it so direct to you, your residence, your vehicle, so simple, speaks to some kind of lack of. Probably, I don't know, he's part of the army. He might not be a military intelligence officer. If he was, he would domicile all of these things outside, at least to make it difficult, for the authorities to trace him. Now, that said, I think the coup plot speaks to a larger dissent in society. Not just in society, but I like what is happening. If you have a preponderance of the officers coming from a particular region, the North in this instance, it's like, well, it's a carryover of the civilian dissent, the civilian disaffection with what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seems to be doing. And it didn't just start. Like, less than 6 months he got into office, the North has been shouting, no, this is not what we bargained for. This is not what we asked for, and all of that. The man tried to do exactly the same thing that their own son Buhari did, and the North didn't kick. Less than 6 months that Tinubu came into office, he started kicking. So it's an extension of the dissent from the North. And if you look closely, with time, we will know that there are some civilians from the North who might just be part of this plot. Now, it raises another issue. Here, if we have like one of them, only one of them, Yusuf from Osun State. So apparently, if the coup had succeeded, it would have been a coup of the North. And when they give to people from the Southeast and the Southwest and South-South, we'll go back to say, oh, the North is dominating us. So if you want to get balls, you get close to the sun. So why did they exclude officers from the Southeast, South-South,
How many of them do we have in service?
No, but we
How many officers from the Southeast do we
no,
have?
No, but we have. But we still have.
The minimal.
No, we have.
Very
Even if that, even at that minimum, we see the intelligent ones. But are they chicken-hearted or are they lion-hearted? My chairman says if you want a lion share, you have to have a lion heart. Now, that said, I want to ask the question of these people, will they try again? Most likely, they will. And it speaks to in 2027, what will happen in 2027? If at the end of the day they are found guilty, is the president going to say, take them out? If he says take them out, he will still be going against the North, that is saying, look, this is not what we agreed with you. So it's going to be a very complex political issue, militarily. It's going to dovetail into the politics of 2027. I think I've just more like did a brief review of what I think might happen.
And if they fail to succeed under Tinubu, they will try with the next Southerner who will come on board.
They may not.
They
may not.
They will. If they fail to, because Tinubu would have taken care of things by now. That means most of these officers, they are going to replace them with loyalists of the government. That one is certain. And so they are going to plug all the loopholes. But when he leaves office, what happened? The government will definitely go to the north. And then they will regain lost ground. That's just the truth.
I think it's just
so what Moses is saying that they will not if another Southerner gets in.
Yes, they may not.
They will just wait for 4 years to fizzle out and they will get back to power.
I said when they that's after 2027 though. And
I don't think the military itself is interested in taking power. I think it's just about returning power to a certain part of the country. I think that's what it is. It's not about the military wanting to seize power. It's about a part of the country feeling sidelined and feeling like they deserve to be in power and they're not in power and they want power back to that.
So how would they do that?
No, please listen.
They still have to go through the process of election.
So
if the process of election leads to, if there's an assurance that a northerner will come in after the next 4 years, then I think we may not see another coup.
If there is any region that should be more aggrieved, it should be the southeast. But they are not interested in all these things. They are going about their business quietly. So I don't see why the north should be aggrieved.
And how has that helped the southeast really? Not being interested in the politics of
no,
things.
Not in
it hasn't helped.
No, not the aggressive way these other people are doing it. Have you noticed that each time the north is out of power, they start to fomenting trouble, either through coup or through civilian whatever. It has been their stock in trade. They don't want to go out of power for 1 minute. And I ask myself, the Southeast that have been quiet since independence, that they have not become president, are you not calling them a fool? So you can see where the problem of Nigeria is coming from. All about power. As if that's the only thing that is important in Nigeria. You want to remain in power.
All right.
The one they gave you, how did you use it to better the lot of your people?
Okay, let's go to Benin where we have Comrade Emmanuel Agbogun. Comrade, thank you very much for joining the conversation. Talk to us. Well,
yes,
to you now.
even if the network appears to be a little bit troublesome here, but yeah.
We're hearing you.
Go ahead.
Okay, the fact and issue is that we're only talking about coup in Nigeria as of today because we still marry our thoughts within this ideology of a failed nation. It's so sad, it's so pathetic, and it's so shameful that as of today, having it been that we are the giant of Africa in quotes, it goes a long way to show that our diversity has not really worked for us. But however, moving forward, we have seen in this issue of coup, myself, I begin to ask, at some point in time, Timi Prisiva was alleged to be a major financier. We also seen a list of, army officers who have also turned out to be the actors of this, coup in quotes. And for some of us, when we want to take a academic view of what is going on, you look at what has been the trade over the Sahel corridors. It's this issue of takeover of power. It happened in Niger, it happened in Burkina Faso, and it has been going swift. But Nigeria being the bigger brother of ECOWAS, one question to ask is, in all of these laws we have tried to put forward as an economic hub, as West Africa, as the case may be, what have we really done practically to achieve majority of these goals? Are they very, very visible? Is the ECOWAS itself, are they working in the interest, or the leaders in quote of the ECOWAS, are they working in the interest of the ECOWAS region, as the case may be? So these are very, very many fundamental questions that you have no other thought than to begin to discuss about coup in the 21st democracy we are currently operating. And for me, I believe that if the day we decide to say our franchise must count as a people, and it will be counting, that is the day we put an end to all of these things. If you agree with me, the worst democracy is better than any autocratic rule. But what have we seen thus far is that people will begin to share some level of sentiments to believing that when the military comes, things will be a little bit better. But you ask yourself, what are the characters of persons we have within the military? Who are these persons? People who are, characterized with mold. You see, when army officers are being, sold out at the battlefront of this issue of Boko Haram. So you see, we are still marrying defense of failures. But one would ask, if you go by the thought of Zig Ziglar, when you say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting another form of answer, one would ask, is coup now a solution to our problem in this country? Will coup reduce the price of the dollar? Will this stop the floating of the naira? Will it bring back the economy as it then was in the 70s or in the 80s? The answer is no. So we must, as a people, if you ask me, begin to marry our thoughts with what will actually promote and progress us as a people. Because it pains me as a young man, having sat down at a very young age watching at people talk on TV, and today we are on TV, we are still marrying ourselves with this thought of economic impossibilities, and something that we will believe that it should actually be a thing of the past. But today we are here, we are still talking about those same issues. The questions to ask is, why are the Nigerian people so docile not to demand for that which is rightly theirs? Because if you ask me, there's no military officer today that will say he's coming to fight for the Nigerian people by way of taking over power. The answer is no, because I do not see any discipline officer. Look at what Ibrahim Touare is doing. How many of our generals can get that formidable courage, to fight for the interests of the people without accumulating wealth for themselves? We have seen army generals who want to use Greenfield. We have in the capital city, we have seen army generals who will go all out to fight people because of their own selfish interests. So if you ask me as Nigerians, I think the way forward is that we must get to the round table and tell ourselves the truth.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You said quite a lot, Emmanuel. But before we leave, I'm sure we are going to leave this topic now. Before we leave, there's a quote that Emmanuel said. Emmanuel said that, look, that the worst military is better than the worst democracy. That the worst democracy is better than the best military. Well, a lot of people will disagree with you, including me here. I am not interested in how military gets into office before they say I'm supporting the coup plot. But once they get into office, I like what they do. We had a discussion here the other day, and we were of the opinion, and we almost agreed, the panelists almost agreed that, look, the current regime of terrorism and insecurity wouldn't ordinarily have lasted for 6 months under a military regime. They would just bring it down. Simple. It happened during Maitasine. It was Buhari that cleared Maitasine in one breath. And if you take a global account, some of the poor countries of the world that try to move, were actually developed to move into either the second world or first world, despite the fact that we don't use all those words in literature of strategic studies and political development. But those people were able to move their country. If you go to the Dominican Republic. It was a military leader that pushed them up. If you go to Indonesia,
mostly Latin America.
If you go to Indonesia, it was Sukarno, a military man that brought Indonesia up. And if you come back to Nigeria here, if you look at what you might call, strategic national infrastructure that Nigeria is proud of, it was built by the military, not even civilians. We are just bickering, moment we got into 2023, we already started talking about 2027. As I speak with you, some people are even talking about 2031. And that is what we see in 4 years, in 8 years of every administration. By the time Obasanjo got into office, he had already started thinking about third term. So what did we get? We were still looking for a certain $16 billion for power and all of that. And we've been looking for 210 trillion naira. Look at what Abacha did with PTF. So some people would disagree that, look, what we need is our own style of democracy. And Babangida at that point called meritocracy if it was going to work for us. And people forget that the best, the freest and fairest election in this country was conducted by the military. Under a two-party system, we didn't have the multiplicity of parties that we have. SDP said, ADC said, and between the NRC and SDP. But now we have multi-party. At last count, 19 parties. And what do we get? We even have one that is trying to, nest everybody into one family, the APC. Is that what we are looking for? We are looking for development, real growth and real development. And the military offered us all of that. For the 5 years that Abacha was in government, what was the Naira to dollar exchange? It was almost pegged at a certain point, and our economy was doing well then. So if we compare notes, a lot of people we don't know how military gets into power, but anyhow they get into power, let them come out, let them rescue us, because we have seen in the past what they did for us.
Well, that's not the position of VOPTV. VOPTV is not asking for the military to get into power.
No, I'm not asking either.
Okay.
I'm not asking
yes,
either.
It's going to be... We
make that clarification, yes.
Okay, well, let's get into another conversation now. President downplays Tinubu's stumble, says Turkey visit on course. And also, yes, I think, yeah. And then in another paper, Edu, federal government restoring confidence in power sector as 501 billion naira bond for Gencos is 100% subscribed. And you saw the picture of the president in Ankara with the Turkish president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. All right, and so you see them shaking hands there. Okay, now let's touch on another headline. World Bank committed $2.5 billion into Nigeria's infrastructure, education, healthcare sectors in 5 years. Mobilized $5 billion private capital into country in 2025. Digital reforms, transparency needed to unlock SME procurement. BPP LTCI says. All right, there you have it. Now, this particular headline here, I think I should take the riders to it so we can focus on this one. Edu, federal government restoring confidence in power sector as 501 billion naira bond for Gencos is 100% subscribed. 5-generation firms sign 827 billion naira. That's from This Day newspaper. Others pending. Gencos pledge capacity expansion after settlement. Payments to cover 290,644.84 gigawatts per hour built since 2015. Power grid collapses for second time in 2026. Recovery completed. LTCI incessant grid issues pose threat to businesses. All right, there you have it. And then the Punch says, Discos blame low generation as grid collapses third time.
Back and forth.
They said two times. Now it's the third.
No, one paper is reporting second time. Another paper is recording.
The first one will shut down to 24 megawatts.
With the way the light goes on,
you can easily lose count. You can easily lose count.
I remember.
And what we are reporting here is not collapse. We are reporting partial disturbance.
I remember when.
This is not partial disturbance because the report we got was the first time it dropped to 24 megawatts nationwide.
Okay.
The second one dropped to 0
And the
So
third
that
one now,
zero cannot be
39.
partial.
Okay, 0 is not partial,
It cannot be
but
partial.
24 is partial.
24 is not partial.
So
The minister
where
said
can
it's partial
24 get
disturbance.
Moses,
If you put your hand in 24, it will
look,
shock you. Or you die.
when you have a problem like this, you don't treat it like an ordinary problem. There is something deeper than what we are saying concerning this light. I remember when Professor Nebo was Minister of Power under Jonathan, he said that some people told him that some spiritual forces don't want Nigeria to have light. They are the ones responsible for this. Some witches and wizards.
Here we go.
The man took it for granted. But after reading what Dr. Ruben Abati wrote about Aso Rock and what is going on there, and after seeing all these things, do you think that what the people told the Professor Nebo is far from what you are seeing today? How can you justify a situation whereby a country of 200 million people in this age and time does not have stable light? Meanwhile, people like South Africa with 60 million people, Egypt, and other countries that we are rubbing shoulders with in Africa, they have 30, 40, 50,000 megawatts. Please, which year and which century are we going to get close to even 20,000 megawatts?
Barrister, the truth of the matter is that it's a failure of leadership. It has nothing to do with being fetish.
Okay,
it's pure leadership.
Okay, yes.
There's nothing wrong in asking
leadership after leadership, but to steal
There's
money.
nothing wrong in
But to steal money. To steal money.
Okay, now exactly. I'm happy you're answering this question.
Money.
So those spirits don't stop them when they want to steal the money.
The spirits become monkeys and snakes.
And swallow those money.
I said, if we don't want to look deeper into this problem, we remain like this in the next one.
There's no looking deeper. It's a problem of leadership. Okay. It's not a problem of leadership. We have seen countries, worse than Nigeria, and our situations like this. And those countries, and when they get good leadership, they just move on. They move up and do better. It's all about leadership failure. There's nothing to do with.
By the time we get the real leader, according to you, there may be nothing left for Nigeria. Nothing left. All the natural resources would have been fizzled out, and our children will be grappling with nothing.
We are just about 65 years of. These are 65 years of. Okay, this year will be.
But you have spent resources. You are wasting.
Some of the Latin American countries that we are even competing with have had independence for more than 250 years. And all of that.
250
years. Yes, and they are still struggling. So it's a process of. It's just a good process.
What do they have? Look. To whom much is given, much is expected. With the resources you have, you are not supposed to be in this quagmire.
Unfortunately, we are because of bad leadership.
That is just my own concern here. Don't compare yourself with countries that have nothing. Japan don't have oil. They don't have oil.
Venezuela has oil.
I said Japan don't have oil.
No, you said I should not compare myself to countries. I was talking about countries at our level, who are still struggling. I'm not making excuses. It's a problem of leadership.
What is the population of Venezuela?
But they have the largest oil deposits in the world, don't they? So what have they done with it? I'm not making excuses for Nigeria.
No, what I'm essentially saying is that Venezuela, the way it's positioned, shouldn't suffer this kind of hemorrhage.
Now we are suffering. Exactly the point.
So, and that brings us to leadership issue.
It's a question of leadership.
It's a question of leadership. And if we get it right, 16 billion was spent during Obasanjo article.
Debatable.
On what is debatable there?
There is no fact.
As article denied it, under BP, as Rufai that is even in the opposition, as he denied it.
Okay, so the same Obasanjo that claimed to be a saint. Is it not the one telling us that our article is...
Anybody can claim to be a saint. As I seated here, there is nothing that you have done in your life that you don't consider as very good. But the society will mirror you as to what you are claiming. So, for me, steadily from 1999, when this republic came in, when Obasanjo came in, till date, if we calculate what we have spent on power, it's over $40 billion. And we have been hovering between 4,000 5,000.
Yes.
With a population of 220, we can't excuse it. We can't. And a transmission line that had been, it's not like somebody now saying, there was a day somebody said, if I can get Volkswagen B2, 1,500. That was the last model. You know, it started with 1,200 model, then 1,300 model, then 1,500. That is ready to buy for 10 million naira. But where are you going to get that? It's the same thing. Transmission line that had been there during the days of ECN, Electricity Corporation of Nigeria, before it transformed to NEPA, now PSN, and then unbundled to distribution, generation, and transmission. Yet, we are still hovering between 4,000 and 5,000. And funny enough, when we peak at 5,000, it will be celebration all over the world. Nigeria government will start celebrating 5,000. Whereas Côte d'Ivoire, that is not even up to 1/3 of our population, celebrated 33,000 megawatts. So,
all right.
What exactly are we talking about?
All right, so let's touch on a few other headlines and have free responses. So, court suspends FCTA workers' strike as Wike okays 12 billion naira for salaries. Yes, you made
the money was there before.
Let me take.
So what was he waiting for?
In fact,
let me take other headlines. Tinubu pushes defense economic ties into Kiev as aides dismiss health fears. Sit at home, traders protest as Soludo shuts down Onitsha market. Senate urged to treat food insecurity as national emergency. 72% of Nigerian businesses tap AI to overhaul workforce. National Grid, okay, yes, we've touched on that. Coup, apologize to Nigerians for initial denial. Falano tells military. All right, there you have it.
We don't need all this.
There you have it. So, Barrister, pick your headline.
Yes, apologize to Nigerians. What would that? What would that?
I thought you wanted to react to the Wike story.
Well, Wike, yes.
12 billion naira.
You see what we are talking about, because some of you said leadership. You see, there's a difference between a bad leader and unreasonable leadership. Is it not unreasonable on his part to have waited until there was a protest before this 12 billion came out? So the money was there. What were we waiting for? Please tell me. That means he never wanted to pay them or what, and he expected them to keep quiet.
Well, Barrister, he's not alone on that. I think it's our pattern. The president also waited for local contractors to protest and embarrass us before the world community, before he released money. State governors wait for teachers to go on strike before they release their salary.
Even doctors.
They wait for NARD, National Association of Resident Doctors, to go on strike before they call them. Federal government, Minister of Education waits for ASU to call for strike before they call them. For a round table.
And they told us that the subsidy money is working, that the states are getting more allocation. Meanwhile, states are owing more money now. They are owing more now.
That's not true. No state is owing.
No, states are owing.
No, what I'm saying
what did you say?
For those who are
not salary.
No, he's not talking about salary.
No salary.
He's talking about their debt exposure.
Debt exposure, of course. They borrowed more than they can take at that time.
So what happened to the subsidy money they are getting? The allocation?
So, Barrister, they are paying off. They are paying off. Why some of them, a few of them are still owing salaries? You know why they are owing? Why they are owing, or why they owe is because by the time FAC declares state ABC, you got 12 billion naira for this month. At source, because the federal government is the obliger, for those loans, they will take 80% of them, like 8 billion naira. It happened in Kaduna when Obasani was like, El-Rufai, left this state open. I can't even pay salary for that particular month. Because out of the 4 billion naira that we got for that month, we couldn't even access up to 1 billion naira because the money had been deducted at source. So that is what is going on in some of the states.
All right, Emmanuel, Comrade Emmanuel, go ahead, talk to me.
Now,
pick your headline.
Very difficult. I'm finding it very difficult to follow the trend of discussion. But let me quickly say something here, particularly when it gets to the issue of power. See, I for once believe in that school of thought that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting one form of answer or hoping for one form of answer is another form of madness. You and I and viewers at home know what has been the setback of privatization in this country. Majority of these gencos and discos that we have as managers of our common infrastructure of power are owned by political cronies and friends of past leaders. Now, when you have this set of leaders who cannot provide the basics and you are voting 501 billion naira as vote or as subvention or as loans to these companies, it will still go down the same way. And that clearly shows to some of us that we don't need power in this country and our leaders are not serious. I, for once, as a very, very, solid admirer of the president, I would have believed that if there was one gray area Mr. President would have gotten it right under his first 4 years, was to fix electricity. See, we don't have business with recycling these same jinkos or going into whatever loan agreement or whatever procurement agreement with them. These people are grossly incompetent to give Nigeria power. And as such, no matter the amount of fundings you give to them, it will go down the same way. So we must begin to think outside. Now, if you ask me, the president came up with such a beautiful policy of saying states cannot generate power on their own and sell to their people. The question to ask is, what are the economic viable states like Kano, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Delta, Enugu doing with these laws? What are they doing with the laws? We are supposed to see states coming up with independent power. We have states that in one physical year can spend the resources available to them to give their people electricity. We have. If you go to Abia State, you see the beautiful thing that was done there by Geometric Power and the Abia State government and the federal government. How is that viable? Why are we not looking at the windows of ensuring that we have independent power at various levels? For crying out loud, we sit on the highest deposit of gas in Edo State here, but we don't have electricity. The Azura power plant is there. It has been one cosmetic policy or the other that has not met with the aspirations of the common man. It's so painful today that people now think of renewable energies than hoping on national grid. Few days ago, I was opportune to look through the pages of social media. I saw a honorable member from one southern part of the country donating transformers, and I asked, if you are celebrating this honorable member for bringing transformers, where are the electricities that will run these transformers to meet the desired goal in which they are procuring them for? It's not available. So that shows you that our people are still within the gimmicks play of let us just push it around. We are not talking about putting a total stop to all of these issues. 501 billion naira for gencos that we all know how the money will go down. If you like, put EFCC to be watching on every bank transactions that they do out of these monies. It will still go down the same way. So let us tell ourselves the truth. We need a total overhaul of our power system. Since Obasanjo, this same set of people have been appropriating, making laws and carrying out expenditures. Up to date, we still cannot boast of 10,000 megawatts of power. We still cannot say we have an independent state in Nigeria that has uninterrupted power supply. And we have recently made laws for each state to generate power independently. And nobody is driving towards that push. If you can even have a solar farm in most of these rural areas we're talking about, independent of the national grid, 501 billion naira will give us more than 100 solar power plants, more than 1,000. What am I saying? 100, 1,000 in various of these communities that are in their need of electricity. Do not forget there's a chain. Once you invest that money in the jinkos and they even create this electricity and peradventure they say, okay, let us have a new turn. They generate this electricity. We still have an issue with the distribution channels. We still have an issue with networking the national grid to these local communities. We are talking about billions of naira when it comes to rural identification. So why are we not thinking outside the box? There are some of these companies that for you to draw distribution lines from the substations down to these communities where you have these local dwellers, it's going to cost the government billions. Why don't you channel this money of giving these people independent power plants through the solar energy?
Oh, yes, of course.
So that, for some of us, that's why we look at it that government is not being sincere to take the push by the horn, or the bull by the horn, to give Nigerians power.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel Agbobo. A lot of questions that you're leaving us with. But talking about thinking outside the box or looking for alternative power. In 2025, the government set aside about 10 billion naira for solar in Asu Villa. And then in 2026 appropriation bill, there is 7 billion naira set aside for alternative power in Asu Villa as well. So government is thinking about itself. They're taking care of that. So Nigerians still look for a way to get power. So whoever gave those people transformers is helping them out. You know, it's just for the generation of power to get to the transformers, and then people will have electricity. Well, thank you very much. This is where we draw the curtains on.
Thank you,
Emmanuel Agbobo.
Before you round up,
we're running
all these travels, Tinubu is calling investors to come, and they are hearing this type of thing. What are they coming to invest in a place where there is no light? Has Tinubu asked himself that question?
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Where is the tunnel in the first place?
Barrister, we'll find out. Well, thank you very much, Barrister Darlington Agbobo. Delifanimo, you've been rather quiet this morning.
Some of these things can overwhelm you.
I understand. Thank you very much, Delifanimo. Veteran reporter, Chukwuma Okoro, also a veteran reporter and
editor.
Editor. Yeah, has a whole lot to his portfolio there. But he makes a comeback later tonight at 6 p.m. for Political Lens.
I'll be joined by Barrister Asim Adam. I'll travel around Nigeria to bring you interesting political stories.
And there you have it, and that's another show today. Newspaper Review makes a comeback tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. And sports comes up next, that's 11 a.m. We'll be taking you through the world of sports. I am Moses Humphrey. Have yourselves a beautiful day. Bye.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being